I put a lot of, time and care into this, and it just, watching it fall before my eyes, and this just happened. So silly me, I was walking along the fiberglass boardwalk, and right where it ends, it slopes down kind of like a ramp. Oh no, no. Alrighty everyone, welcome back. This is just a little kind of a little bit of a gear update video. Just kind of different things in my life really pertaining to photography right now. So my previous video I just uploaded, that'll be before this one, it's already up at least, is called Wading Through a Creek. And so what I did is I went to a local nature reserve just really close to home, threw on some chest waders and just started wading in the creek. I had my entire piece of kit, all my backpack, my tripod, all the gear with me, and of course the camera, and then I filmed it with a GoPro attached with a little head harness strap onto my head. So did that for a little while. I kind of just thought in the back of my head, I'm like, it'd really suck if I fell, with all that gear and stuff. And then of course, I'm just kind of wading through the creek and all that, and then eventually it just kind of fell through and I fell down. And so I was like, oh shoot, because I had my phone, my GoPro, they got pretty wet. They managed to survive at least. But my camera, the Canon EOS 80D, took probably the most damage. And so I had to put that in pretty much immediately once it hit the water and splashed, in and out. It really just stopped working. The screen went black, even though the camera was turned on. No touch screen at all, no real functionality. Just buttons and stuff are failing. Since the SD card is the most watertight piece or section of the camera technically, or at least typically, that managed to survive, which wasn't too big of a deal because I didn't have anything really major on there, honestly. But from there I took that out, immediately took out the battery. I kind of learned my lesson because I've had this kind of thing happen more than once before, like at Bruckner Nature Center this past May of this year. Where my Rebel T3 actually took a fall and all that stuff. And then there's another time you dropped the battery grip and that smacked in the ground, breaking filters. We made a whole podcast episode about breaking gear pretty much. At least I had a lot of stories about this kind of stuff, but this is the most unfortunate one, unfortunately. So here it is. I tried working with it. Kept it in the rice bag for about 3 days or so. Didn't really help. Took it out 3 days and it looked fine, but now I'm like, it's still on and off. It'll turn on just fine. See, yeah, it's turned on. Flipped it on. Got the battery in there. Got the battery cover on because you need that in there to really get it set up so that it can turn on properly. There we go. Finally turned on the screen. Touchscreen kind of works on and off. All the other functionality and features seem to work, but it's just it's not reliable now because it really doesn't, you can take a shot, but it doesn't work half the time. You may take a couple frames or whatever, press that shutter, and it's not gonna exactly work. It's just gonna start freezing up, which means there still must be some moisture and some water somewhere buried deep within the electrical components of the camera, which probably shouldn't be turning on anyways, as is, but I really thought it was going to work, and then apparently it didn't, so it's like, oh well, I don't know. Like I said, it turns on, looks fine, but then it just eventually stops working, which is really unfortunate, because this is a really nice camera. I love this EOS 80D. I've been using it for this particular camera body I've had for about 2 years, and it's got me some great images. It's a great DSLR for kind of the beginner intermediate level, and see, it's like the top screen's turned on. It's got all the features, the exposure meter, but then now the screen came back on. So yeah, it's acting really finicky and weird. So probably have to retire it, unfortunately. I don't know what else to do with it. It's like, if it's going to act like that, then what else can you really do? So yeah, that leads me to my next point. So the camera that I'm filming this on right here is actually another 80D. I bought one immediately. I came home that morning when it fell, when I was wading in the creek and all that. And I was like, just feeling really anxious about it because I was like, oh no, I don't have another camera now with me. I'm cameraless. And I was looking around, shopping around. I considered a few options. Like I considered upgrading to a 90D, which is the pretty much the successor to the 80D here. But the specs and everything weren't really too dramatically different. So, and it was about twice the price if I got a used 80D like I did here. And same with this one when I bought it used about 2 years ago. But then I started looking around some more. I'm like, the 80D's about $300 less than it was back when I got it, you know, this 2 years ago. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, I don't know. Maybe I want to upgrade the full frame. So then I started looking around, maybe some full frame options. So I started looking at, you know, such as like a 6D, which is a nice kind of entry level full frame DSLR from Canon. And I started thinking about that a little bit more. I was like, you know, price is about comparable to the 80D. But even then, and then I even considered, you know, like a newer option, like maybe the 5D Mark II or Mark III or even Mark IV. And I'm like, I don't know, that's kind of out of my price range right now. And the features and the specs, they look great. You know, those are great cameras, you know, bar none. It's one reason why a lot of professionals use them as well. But I was thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know, I'm just too familiarized with this. I've grown to really like the touchscreen and the swivel display on the back. You know, sensors, even though it's an APS-C, it's still such a great sensor, and overall just a really great camera to use. So I don't know, I just love this thing so much. I don't know why. Even the video in the autofocus on the video mode is just like probably one of the best, honestly, in DSLR, at least from what I've heard, at least. And then there's also, I considered a little bit for a while, maybe some mirrorless. So I even considered maybe getting one of the more kind of entry-level mirrorless cameras. See, this thing's acting weird. Anyways, so I considered a mirrorless option like the Canon RP, which is a great camera. I know at least one person that uses one, and you know, they highly recommend it as well. So I'm like, maybe I'll get that. But then that means I need to get, you know, the $100 mount adapter to work with all my EF lenses, at least the 4 of them I have in my kit here. And then I was like, I don't know. So I just went back to the 80D because I figured it'd be just, you know, the next best thing, because it's just what I'm used to now, what I have been for, you know, quite a while now, ever since that's been my singular camera body. And then, like I said, 3 days ago, it started working again. At least so I thought. So then I went, you know, oh crap, because now I have 2 of the exact same camera body, which is just a little weird. But now it's not working, I mean, necessarily, so I'm like kind of confused. I feel like it's just been, overall, the battery and everything, it's just been shorted. And at least from a performance perspective, I can't see me using this, you know, out in the field to record video or photo. It's just not going to be reliable now. It's not snippy and fast, you know, and I don't want to use gear that might just, you know, for like, you know, just kind of fall apart and just not work, you know, when I need it to, especially like if a bird's right there on the branch and it flies away and this thing locks up for, you know, whatever reason. You know, I don't want that to happen, of course. So I want to use gear that obviously works and does the job right. So I feel like I'm just gonna have to unfortunately retire this. But like I said, now I have the exact same camera body, which is on this one. And another thing is weird, that is just the wide angle lens. I use a 24mm pancake lens. It's an EF lens from Canon. And I'm recording this right here with that same lens that fell in the water. So the lens still works. Maybe it's because of the weather sealing or whatever in the watertight display, since it does have the rubber seals at least onto, you know, where the lens contacts and all that stuff meet. So yeah, it's just very, very weird. I don't know. Yeah, so I ended up getting that one. I bought it used. Like I said, it was about $300 less than when I bought it 2 years ago, which is very nice, I guess. But yeah, here I am. So with the same camera, I guess. It's kind of weird, but yeah, it is what it is. I think the most important thing for me, though, overall, is just, you know, really the point of this video, I guess, besides me rambling on about looking at, you know, shopping around for a camera body, is that the camera is merely a tool. At least for me, at least, it's a tool to get an end result and a means of getting an image, and that's really my goal with, you know, doing my videos or my photo, of course, is that I want to get the image. The first thing that's on my mind, you know, when I'm looking back on an image I took or whatever, is not really necessarily what I took, you know, the image with, you know, what the camera was or the lens choice. I mean, it is, you know, especially with compositionally speaking, but overall it's mainly about, you know, the image itself, you know, the emotions, the experience, the mood, you know, everything I felt and experienced, you know, when I was taking that image there. So I'm not necessarily thinking about, you know, what the camera was and all that. So I think really the point I'm going to drive home here with this video is just that, you know, you should appreciate your camera and what it does, because it's a tool, and it allows you to get the shots obviously that you want to get. But at the end of the day, it's still just a tool and a means to an end. And so you know, I almost titled this video that, like, you know, I broke my camera and I don't care, but I do care, because, you know, money is a thing, but also it's like, it's just, you know, this is just a tool. So, and especially for what I do, which is, you know, obviously outdoor photography especially, I know these things go through the elements, you know, they go through the weather and all that, and yeah, you're gonna expect things to fall apart, break, you know, just things to fall in water, all that sorts of stuff. And it's just a very unfortunate, you know, circumstance that, you know, you just have to really accept if you want to get, you know, some amazing shots as well. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It's pretty much, I guess, all I really had to say about this video here. It's just a quick little update, I guess. I don't do these really too often on my channel. But yeah, I mean, shopping around for this camera body really kind of got me inspired a little bit to, I guess you can call it inspired, to really pay attention a little bit more to gear, maybe, and even just gear kind of news and updates, and really see what's, you know, really out there, I guess. Other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. Maybe pay attention to some more gear, but until then, yeah, I got one camera body here, and this will have to suffice for now. So it's almost like, you know, $700 later, this is what I got. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.